So well done. And while we're handing congratulations out, we must congratulate boys Scott Allen, who's in charge of the curation of this ground. They have done a magnificent job. It's our understanding not too long ago the surface looked nothing like it does for tonight's game. So well done to everyone for presenting such a superb surface for what's going to be a fantastic game of footy.
How exciting is that, man? Cozzy Pickett for all the Demons. His uncle Byron was a fair player, Richo. We always like to know where Byron was on a footy field.
Absolutely, you did. He's been really good, hasn't he? Inside 50. He's got the feeling we're going to get some special things out of him. 10 games in his first year. He's kicked 6 goals. But he looks like creating something every time that it goes near him.
Trent Rivers in that shot too. He's got lots of excitement. Young running half-back. High draft pick for Melbourne out of last year's draft. As the toss of the coin, we can see Maxi Gawn back into this side for Melbourne, and that's fantastic. Jaron Geary making a great fist of being the St Kilda captain, and they've won the toss and are kicking to the right of screen. Abby Holmes.
Yeah, thanks, JB. It really is a beautiful part of the world here, isn't it? And conditions have been spot on here in the Red Centre. We reached 28 degrees here in Alice Springs, but as we know in the desert, as soon as that sun goes down, so does the temperature. Expect some dew to start setting in early in this game, but can't wait to see who gets on top in that midfield battle. And for me, who's going to kick these goals for the D's with Fritsch and McDonald out of the side? So looking forward to see where they come from. But we're all set down here at ground level, boys.
Good point you make, Abby, isn't it? Bailey Fritsch, we know, was late for a team meeting. They've forced him out of the side for disciplinary reasons. And Tom McDonald dropped, so it's a real changing of the forward structure tonight for the D's, Richo.
Yeah, and it's a really mobile-looking forward line, and Jake Carlisle was dropped by the St Kilda Footy Club, but Mitch Brown has come in to this team, his 3rd AFL club, and one thing you know that you're going to get out of Mitch is movement. He really is a mobile forward. He pushes up and back, and he gets to plenty of contests, Mitch Brown, and that it sort of probably suits the way the Melbourne forward line operates. So he's in tonight. Sam Wiedemann has been really good over the last 8 weeks. He's kicked 16 goals. There's only 4 players in the comp averaging more than 2 goals, and he's one of them. Dixon, obviously, Hawkins and Kennedy being the others. So he's really performing. He's given them a target. They've started marking the ball inside 50, and it was really only that 3rd quarter last week that was disappointing over the last month for the Melbourne Footy Club.
There's a look at their recent history. The Saints have won the last 3 games. Ed Phillips, the time trial specialist, that man. He's an enormous aerobic athlete. He'll cover plenty of ground, not unlike his brother Tom at the Magpies. So we're ready to go in Alice Springs. Here's James Brayshaw.
Big stakes. Heart of the nation. Gawn back in, jumped into Ryder. Bangs off a couple of knees. Jones goes and finds it. Wobbles a little torp to half forward. King gets a look in early. Sits it up inside 50. Leave it to the front. McDonald at the back. Hibbard arches the back. Salem so calm with the footy. Back to Oscar McDonald. Kicks to a 1v1, including Hunter Clark, who's in very, very good form. Tomlinson, Salem. Again, wide to an even number. And Geary, dangerous ball. Well done, Cozzy Pickett.
So exciting. He's just got a beautiful bit of flair about him, Cozzy, and that was a nice ball out wide. You see the Demons now streaming hard forward. Lots of run provided. Happy just to be a little bit patient in this build-up. There is Wiedemann, who Richo spoke about, really improving. Nice pick up from Oliver. Takes a look forward. He had a one-on-one, and that was Mitch Brown, who just turned 30 years of age a couple of days ago, I should say. He was picked up by Essendon in 2016 on the back of the supplement issue, and also a supplementary pick for the Demons in this pre-season, Richard.
Yeah, Wilkie is picking him up, and Howard's got the job on Wiedemann.
Forward 50 stoppage here for the Demons. Ryder jumps high. Billings ground level. Steele steers it straight into the hands of a good marking defender in Jake Lever. Repeat entry here for the Demons. Kicked it straight to Ryder, had a couple of goes at it. Able to take the intercept mark. There's Phillips. Talk about the time trial specialist, Luke Darcy. That's not his best kick. It can't stay in. Actually, wouldn't mind seeing him in a time trial against his brother. Because you're always more competitive against someone from the same family.
So big night for Simon Goodwin, Alan Richardson. You can see the brains trust for the Melbourne Football Club. They know this part of the world well. Maxi Gawn tried to just direct it down to Petracca. Viney in there. Seb Ross, though, tumbles that one to the wing. Bounced over the head of Marshall. Maxi King's had a couple of nice touches. What about Dan Butler? Puts on the afterburners. He's had a superb start to his career at the Saints. Left football. That was outstanding, Dan Butler.
And that is St Kilda's blueprint. If they're running at the Melbourne defence like that, they're going to be very hard to beat. They've got so much pace in that forward half, and Butler's been one of those players all year. What an outstanding year he's having, but it just goes past the intercept players for the Melbourne Footy Club. And Membry gets a good look at it.
Just busted it wide open then, Dan Butler. Superb play. Tim Membry has been the leading goal kicker at the Saints 3 of the past 4 seasons. Directly in front, no angle to worry about. And he's just pushed that slightly and nicked the right-hand goalpost. So the first score tonight is a minor one.
Looks pretty still up there tonight. I think he just pushed it right.
May to bring the ball back in. Normally favours this side of the ground. To Hibberd. Long ball forward. Pickett at the back. Spargo. Pickett. A couple of small forwards combined. Melcham. Hannon. Well tackled by Geary. Wilkie now with work to do. Brown's got a hold of him. Ball up.
Both of these teams get a lot of goals from inside 15 metres. A lot of those walk-in goals. They're 1 and 2 in the competition for those.
Petracca had a bit of a look, and then it was taken from him. Big defensive fist into the hands of Oliver. Salem. Langdon. Steele and Ross. That's a good ball. Hunter Clark having a very good year. The ball carrying of Hill. Hine back to Hill, streaming through the middle. What's he got inside 50? Sticks it into the path of Membry. Runs a bit of an arc. Was there a touch on that? Long ball forward, King and May. And a behind.
That's the way to play, straight through the middle of the ground. They're looking dangerous already on transition. The Saints from their back half. It's Brad Hill that time, but a few danger signs early for Melbourne.
Really nice movement, wasn't it? As Matthew Richardson just pointed out, Max Gawn back into the game tonight. Couldn't quite drag that one down. So offhand, says Brett Ratton. Coaching at ground level, having a chat to his skipper, Jaron Geary. Something structural there. He wants the skipper to get his head around. Doing a fine job, Brett Ratton. Here's Marshall. He wanted Phillips. Know how hard Jack Viney is. Good wrestle on Jones. Sinclair, and
straight up, please.
Here the umpire saying, give that one back to me.
293rd game tonight. Nathan Jones, he joined Stevie J and Rod Carter on that number. The tilt.
Patton. Steele already finding good amounts of the ball. Hold there. Off a step, tried to find Battle. Broken up by Langdon.
A good year, Battle. Very versatile player.
Good size, 193 centimetres, 93 kegs.
He gets down back and intercepts, but can go forward as well.
Brayshaw taken in a tackle.
Chance. Thanks,
And Seb Ross
roll max kilometre.
separate themselves at ground level. Gawn again. Hill. Battle. King in the air. Ground level, it's Wagner. Taking a long time to get his hands on the ball. Eventually got it to Hibberd. Hibberd sees something he likes in the form of Wiedemann. It was a tough ball for him to handle. Howard's got a piece of him. The umpire waits and then says you've taken too long.
Well, they've been pretty red hot on that this round. They want you to be looking like you're making a genuine attempt.
Been a nice inclusion into this side. Dougal Howard weighted that kick pretty well to Jack Billings. Normally very skillful ball in hand. He's got a lead out wide. Remember, he has been the target, but on that occasion, just a little too far in front.
He likes playing against Melbourne, Tim Membry, and already he's finding space tonight. He could have had 3 marks already. The last 2 kicks that have gone to him have just been poor kicks, but he's getting good separation.
See Max Gawn tonight. He had just a couple of contests with Rowan Marshall. Now he steps up against Ryder, and he can really work them over with that sort of quality. This is Tomlinson, former Giant. Melksham, good contested mark. Too good for Patton on that occasion. Once again, the D's streaming forward, but not something obvious that he liked, Jakey. So he goes on the non-preferred. Chance for Vandenberg out the back. This is Caulfield to Long, and all through the hands of Steele. Tomlinson gave a pretty good contest.
Right in. You got it.
I love Melksham putting it inside 50 because he kicks the ball with really good penetration. Doesn't kick it high. It gets there quickly when Jake Melksham kicks it.
Shallow throw in. Gawn slaps it over his head, and the free
Melbourne
is going to go to Christian Petracca.
Yeah, Seb Ross is playing on Petracca around these stoppages.
51. Time back on.
Explosive athlete, and got 55 from home early in the game as he got the trip.
Oh, you have a go, I reckon. No, you just would be worried around the stoppages when you play on him. If he gets any space, that power that he has, and I reckon Ross just got a bit nervous then.
Through the clear Alice Springs air. Christian Petracca. Bang! Have a look at that! From downtown! He is special. That gentleman on screen. The sky is literally the limit for what he can do in his AFL career. He's, 98 games in, and we're only just starting to see what he can actually do.
It's the full set, isn't it? He's got everything you need. Can mark the ball, powerful kick as we just saw there, and what a year he's having.
Jeez, that's a good strike.
Did it easy.
What an asset that is, isn't it? Someone who can kick a 60-metre drop punt and bend it perfectly, as the big truck did there. Christian Petracca just starting to emerge as one of the guns in the competition. It's great to see. I always hoped he was going to get to this level, and it was a perfect start. Ryder tried to jump over the top. Zach Jones taking around almost a full rotation. The Saints go long. King from behind Marshall. Well played, Petracca. It was Salem, in fact, I should say, who got the first hand. Now he got it back, tried to guide it down to a teammate. That's Trent Rivers. Saints' pressure is always good. Now they're going to get it back into the hands of Caulfield. Nice little sidestep. Got around Vandenberg. Max King looks like the target. Out the back lever. Well done, King. Got up, made sure he got a hand to it. Salem just left it behind. Got to work it again through the hands of Rivers. Underground handball wanted Wagner. Saints are really applying a bit of heat. Looked like that one was out. Eventually Sinclair can't keep it in.
That was good there from Max King. He was 2-on-1. Don't expect him to mark it, but you can't let Lever mark it, and he got it to ground. Now the Saints can get some stoppages in their forward half.
To the front, Petracca kicks it straight into the big ruckman. Steele on the up. Sinclair to a dangerous spot. Was that a hold? Doesn't matter. Marshall marks it anyway.
Gee, it was a good kick, though. Just an absolutely perfect kick to a fat side. Little wraparound from Rowan Marshall. He may have been able to get a free kick. You're right, JB. Didn't matter. He shrugged him off. But that kick,
15 gone, marks here, mate.
not much that McDonald could do there.
Does this very well. A ruckman who can go forward, mark it and kick multiple goals. What an asset. Oh, he's just eased that right.
All clear. Blue dot. Right out.
Dangerous player, that man, Rowan Marshall, as JB said. He's very capable forward. Runner up to Seb Ross in last year's Best and Fairest. And nice foil for Max King.
Hold 10, thank you. Play on.
Salem receives the kick in.
Play on.
This is Oscar McDonald. Tried to massage it down the line to Jones. Managed to keep it in. Vandenberg managed to get it back to Jones. Now this kick's got to be good through the corridor. Oliver, you know how brave he is. Well, he left it behind. Opens the door now for Phillips. Max King just a bit too quick there for Stephen May. And we know this young man can kick a ball, Richo.
Yeah, beautiful kick. But the Saints have been guarding that corridor really well. Nathan Jones took the chance through the middle, which you have to do. You can't just keep coming down the line, which they have early in the game. Didn't work, and there's generally always someone out inside 50 when you turn it over in that position.
18 goals season 2020 from his 13 games. He's a beautiful striker of the ball, and that looks really nice. Bending left to right. Maxi King. Speaking of the sky being the limit, how exciting is it to see that man there, Max King. Just saw his speed, Richo, in that lead. There was just a tiny little gap, and he put a metre on Stephen May.
We talked about Petracca just before, having all the attributes as a midfielder. Well, he's got it all for a key forward moving into his career. There's that risky kick into the middle of the ground, turnover, and King kicks a nice goal. Abby.
Yeah, they're looking really aggressive in attack, aren't they, Richo? A brilliant finish by Max King. But just on the conditions, there is a slight breeze that's just starting to set in, blowing to broadcast side. So the boys will just have to, I guess, make note of that out on the ground.
Huge talent, Max King. From a very talented family back in the middle. Bounce favour's gone. Viney, as always, body lines the ball, and then he's claimed in the hind tackle and driven into the ground.
Saints just a little bit better around the ball at the moment. Clearance is going their way and the contested possession.
Spargo read it best. Langdon inside 50 with a high one. Petracca parked forward. Cozzy Pickett. Nath Jones. Petracca just had to go back and track the footy, which made it tough. Long, hovering over the top.
St.Kilda.
And he's been picked out. It's going to go to Long by the look of it.
Yeah, just the Saints having a win around the footy. Viney and Brayshaw haven't had a touch yet.
Short ball to
Hold there.
Geary at half-back. Caulfield. Nowhere to go. Bites off a short one and finds Kent against his old club. Battle, Langdon. He does get plenty of the ball. Back to half forward, and there's a good mark.
Hold there.
Callum Wilkie, who's pretty good by foot.
Hold there.
Uses it well, and the Saints now look up, and just a little stalemate at the moment. The side's trying to find a way through, and Billings down the line. Paddy Ryder's a pretty good option here. Is Brayshaw, which I pointed out. Melbourne midfielders just keen to get a bit more ball early stages in this game. Here's Hibbert. Down the line, can they get a contest? Wiedemann brought it to ground. Spargo. Caulfield well tackled, had the arm pinned, and it was just turned a little bit on that tackle. We know the umpire's very keen to keep an eye on that. Hannon tried to muscle his way through, so too Viney. He's been allowed to work his way through, and the right decision there.
That ball exchanged hands about 3 times there. Just got to be a little bit careful there when the arms are pinned.
Brayshaw came through, a little smother on the kick. Zach Jones hovering over the top. A couple of demons have got hold of him. And that one's holding the ball. Explain any of it.
No, I don't know.
I'm trying to stand up.
Ed Langdon thinking that it should have been 50. Jack Viney has the ball. I'm not sure this is the exact spot that Christian Petracca kicked that goal from. I'm not sure Jack Viney quite has the same wheels.
He's going to pop it up.
He does exactly that, and who does he find? The self-same man. Now, you talk about weapons forward of the ball. That's what Christian Petracca brings to the Melbourne table. Not only dynamic work around stoppages, but he can then go forward and do exactly that.
Well, this is only Petracca's third touch, but he's more than likely going to have 2 goals. And you don't have to get 25-30. I reckon if you get high teens to 20, but you kick goals as a midfielder, that's more valuable.
Same angle, about 35 metres closer to goal. Exactly the same result. Good start, Petracca.
He's such a athlete, that jump. He's got a huge leap as well, Petracca. The power in those legs, and that's what got him that mark. Was able to get a good jump up at the footy.
Good forward instincts too, Richo.
Yeah.
He just reads it off the boot.
That was the thing. He just read it that touch, split second quicker than anyone else down there. It was always, Viney was always doing that, wasn't he? He was never going to have a shot. Well, that's the case of someone winning the ball, but he was already on the ground, and we know when you win it, when you're on the ground, you're in trouble, because what else could he do there, Jones? Just let it bobble around and not try and win the ball? I don't know. Can't discourage players trying to win the ball at ground level. That's what that does, I reckon.
Still confusing, Richo. I'm with you. How exciting, Christian Petracca.
What was he meant to do there, Jones?
Yeah.
He's on the ground, the ball's there. He's got to try and grab it.
It's been a bit of a mess, that one. Here he is. This man looks like he could take the competition apart. Christian Petracca in the coming years. Already got 2, his career high is 4 goals. He just looks like he could do anything. Vandenberg signals the long bomb. Big Maxi Gawn's drifted forward and uncontested almost in the end. Great to see Max back.
Well, there's Marshall. He came in late.
This part of the game's always a watch for Big Maxi.
Dan, move out with him, please. Thank you.
Missed 3 weeks with a knee injury. Big Max. Not always is one with this one, Big Maxi, fair to say, but yet to register a major in season 2020. Here we go. Let's just have a look at the ball drop. He's kicked it pretty well. I think they'll love that. Look at him get around Max. The Melbourne fans, they're going to love that. Such a ripping part of this side. Spiritual leader, as well as being the captain. Makes you smile, doesn't he, JB?
They love him, and so they should. Done a great job, I reckon, since taking over as captain of Melbourne. Speaks well, honestly. Looks people in the eye, answers his phone, which a lot of people don't. There's so much to like about Max Gawn.
Got to love this if you're a Melbourne supporter. You got 3 goals out of Petracca and Big Maxi. Midfield goals, 3 already. The forward line hasn't had to do anything. Nice start for the Melbourne midfield on the goal-kicking side of it.
Great passion for the game in the middle of our beautiful country. Melbourne really owning this game in this part of the world. They get great support. Petracca taking to ground. Released the footy to Oliver. Jones also went and found a good piece. Well done. Kicks a long ball inside 50. Defensive fist from Lever. Brayshaw came in hard. Butler handled it really well. Jones tumbles it inside 50. May collides hard with Billings and the ball goes out.
Rucks.
Been a good addition to the Melbourne Footy Club.
Thank you.
Steve May.
Max and Max.
Really consistent year, hasn't he?
Big, strong defender. Another very, very shallow throw in. Langdon. Big pack of players. Vandenberg at the back. Long. Billings, Hill. They'll go high through Patton again to half forward. King of fly. Petracca. Hibbard. Oliver. Here's Rivers. That's a nice ball. Good bit of vision from the young man to Tomlinson. Share it around half-back, the Demons. Minute and a half left. Rivers, that gets to him on the half volley. Some support from Tomlinson. Rivers went back. Did he drag that footy in? Hind involved. Locked up ball.
Pretty smart play in the end from Rivers to let that one go. He was about to be pinged, I think. Little half volley. Tomlinson's provided the support initially. Salem tumbles that one down and out of bounds on the full. So with a minute remaining until quarter time, the Saints
3 metres back.
Going to go inside forward 50 again. Here's their skipper, Geary.
Play on.
Maxi Kings look likely tonight. Let's see if that is where this one is headed. May was able to get that one down to Oliver. Back to Stephen May. Langdon and now Rivers short. Play on's the call, so Vandenberg's got to think his way through it. The hard-running Ed Langdon now. Centering ball was well crafted to Melksham. This is a good build-up from the D's. You can see they've got runners. Melksham turned around. Beautiful-looking kick and nailed Wiedemann. You mentioned earlier you like it in his hands, Richo.
Well, that's why. That kick there, that had to get there quickly, and look how low and hard. But, gee, it was great play. He feigned to go outside. Look at this. It drew the cross. Patton. And then that low, hard kick. Really good transition. Oliver and Langdon getting back into defensive 50 to win that ball helped as well.
Kicked multiple goals in 7 of his 8 games this year, Sam Wiedemann. Close to the quarter time siren. He snuck it home. 3 in a row, the D's. Well, that is a big statement, Sam Wiedemann. Much improved player this year. Just hope that he's going to be a huge part of the future. He's got lots to like about him, Sam Wiedemann, and that was a really good finish. And Melbourne have a 15-point margin, very close to quarter time.
That started in defensive 50 because Oliver worked back, got it at ground level. Langdon was back there to help him. And then that smart play from Melksham to take his player across to the outside, come back into the inside. Good finish, Wiedemann.
Talk about accuracy a lot. A couple of really bad set shot misses for the Saints, and
Block, straight arm, St Kilda.
Melbourne haven't missed. There's the siren. So a good start if you're a fan of the Melbourne Footy Club. 4 straight. Very good start for that gentleman. What about this? One of the oldest and biggest rivalries in our game, the Blues and the Pies. That is going to be a beauty. Abby Holmes, to you.
Yeah, thanks, JB. A really good start by the D's. They made the most of their entries inside 50 and defensively held up incredibly well against some pretty aggressive St Kilda attack. But I really just want to highlight the importance of Dan Butler with this St Kilda outfit. He was a brilliant pickup to them in the off-season. He's so important in the way that St Kilda want to play their footy this year. Yes, he's only had the 3 touches early. He set up that Membry goal, but so important in the way that the St Kilda Footy Club are going about it in season 2020.
Yep, couldn't agree with you more, Abby. He's their leading goal kicker, has been one of the recruits of the year, Dan Butler, no doubt about that. Good start to this game from the D's. Alice Springs has been their home away from home, and they finished pretty nice in the first quarter, Richo.
Yeah, they did. It was the second half of the first quarter. They obviously took their chances when they went inside 50. The Saints had early chances, missed them. Marshall missed an easy set shot, as did Membry. Down the other end, they nailed their opportunities. A pretty even game, apart from that, when you look across the stat sheet. But Melbourne just took their chances when they went inside 50.
Something amusing, Christian Salem and Bradley Hill. They spent a bit of time together, these two sides today, JB.
In the play, isn't this the modern game? Back in your day, you two, would you have chatted amicably with the bloke standing next to you?
Wouldn't have been well received, but as I said, it's different times. Flew up with each other on the same plane. They'll go back to Queensland tonight together. And that adds a bit to this. It's a huge game for both clubs. Well tackled, Brayshaw got hold of Zach Jones, and no prior opportunity clearly on that occasion.
Thanks, Max. Just hold that meter. Paddy.
Big Max just plants himself in front, and he's drawn a free kick.
Time back on.
Against Ryder. He had a little think about giving it to Salem. Kicked his first goal of season 2020 in the first quarter, Max. He's signalling where he wants to put it out wide. Saints had the numbers back there, and that was a little bit too easy in the end for Josh Battle.
Work it through hands out of defensive 50.
Oh, there.
Jack Billings wants to go into the corridor, and Wiedemann was all over it. Wilkie had to work back hard, and Hill's hands were really nice. Where does he go? Centre of the ground. Oh, through came May. Made Steele really earn it. Great focus on the ball, though. And now Ryder snuck forward. Paddy Ryder sets it up for King. Got good hands to it. Battle with the snap. Has he got enough? I'm not sure he has.
He won't.
He's got to admire this courage, don't you, Richard? Look at Jack Steele. Had no idea what was coming his way. Stephen May tried to nail him, and you can't have anything but admiration for the courage.
And he knew that May was coming, never took his eyes off it for a second. That play on from Brad Hill and that centering kick allowed them to get that chance. Max King had a really good look at that. When he gets a bit stronger through the body, he'll grab those marks, but he really should have taken that one.
Fine, he took off through the corridor. Strong enough to get through the tackle of Steele, and now got a bit of run. Well tackled was Langdon. Mitch Hannon now's got to fight hard for a look at Petracca. Superb stuff. The pick-up and hands were outstanding. I think Nate Jones has inadvertently popped that one out of bounds on the full, I reckon.
Play on.
So the Saints can load up from half-back. That's not a great ball. Straight to Hannon. Now Brown goes to the set-up spot. Wiedemann. Here's Jones. Thumping handball. Brown will do it all again. Wiedemann's got about 4 to beat in the air. It gets past everyone. Melcham back to Wiedemann. And that snap just misses.
This looks more dangerous, Sam Wiedemann, both in the air and at ground level. You saw his recovery then gave him an opportunity. Bradley Hill waiting for an option he likes. Ryder, Oscar McDonald over the top. This is Dean Kent. The big boy Rowan Marshall just dumps a long one. Membry, the deepest forward. Hibbert well played. Got Brayshaw inboard if he wants. Lever further down the line, as well as Tomlinson. Tried to take on Zach Jones. Now they've sold themselves under a bit of pressure, worked their way through it. Oscar McDonald, Saints still pressing, decides that he's going to send it down to half forward, and Nick Caulfield took a nice mark at half back.
Having a real breakout year across half-back, Nick Caulfield. High draft pick. His 31st game, so he's starting to really emerge and feel comfortable at the level. May
Move it on. Play on.
wants to go sideways. Needs to really connect with that ball. It hung in the air a long time.
Hold. Play on. You, mate.
Some uncontested footy here for the Demons. Wagner.
Hold.
This is something they're starting to do, become a little more considered ball in hand.
Thanks, Ron. Right on it.
A bit too kamikaze earlier in the season for some of their more passionate fans, but now they're starting to just take their time and pick out the right option. There's a good mark. taken by Jack Steele.
He's having another really good night, Jack Steele. This is his 9th disposal.
Play on.
Received coaches' votes in 10 games this year, Jack Steele. He's had an outstanding season. Always a good measure, isn't it, what the opposition coach and your coach is seeing out in the field.
Yeah. And you look at all the votes around the comp, the media votes. So they're the ones you look at, the coaches' votes. Gives you a really good indication of how good a year a player is having.
Good Maxi, just a bit too strong for Ryder on that occasion. Now Viney. Need a contest here from Hannon, but the ball always favoured Caulfield.
Yeah.
Had a look in board and then decided that this was the option, and just a patient build-up again. Try and work it out the opposite side. Bradley Hill, always liked the footy in his hands, takes a couple of bounces. He's almost daring them to come at him. And the skipper Geary. So they're pretty well set up here, the D's. They've actually pushed them back a little bit. Dougal Howard is trying to piece their way through this. Wilkie's a good disposer as a general rule. So a lot of possession, not gained much territory at all. Big launch from behind. And still kept it in eventually over the line.
Did that well, Melbourne, didn't they? They just had such good defensive structure across the ground. 2 switches from the Saints, they couldn't get through.
Looks, Richo, like they were easily transitioned against last week, which they were, and they've spent a lot of time this week making sure that doesn't happen again.
Absolutely, JB, and they did it really well then. Saints had no chance of getting through.
Viney taken high.
High tackle. Melbourne. Hold
Had a good week on the track by the look of the D's. Have to win this game. They're back in the 8 if they do. Good one-hander from Salem. Inside 50 is nice. Big Mitch Brown.
Got to get it into the good users' hands, and Salem is one of those.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Just overcommitted there, Zach Jones, and that allowed Salem to play on. Jones didn't overcommit. Mitch Brown doesn't have this mark.
They've done this well. 4 straight from set shots, and that struck nicely. Have a look at that. Five straight from set shots for the Demons. And if you want to win games of footy, that certainly helps. Cheltenham boy, Mitch Brown, Mentone Grammar, played for the Dragons, as so many have, making their way into the big time. Then Geelong, and then Essendon, back to Sandy for a little stint. Now he's at Melbourne. That's a journey.
Bit of life experience and all that for Mitch Brown. Now 30 years of age. Beautiful set shot, that last one.
An inboard kick there, and Salem was allowed to get around Zach Jones. That opens up that little space for Mitch Brown to lead into. Still, if they're taking marks out there, Saints defence should be thinking, well, we're happy to have it out there all day long, but they're kicking straight, and Simon Goodwin would love that, Dust.
I thought it was a good point you made about their ability to defend this week. Coaches get a lot of criticism, but to adjust from one week to the next, and I think you're right. Melbourne's had a good week on the track. They look really well organised, so credit to Simon Goodwin and the coaches. Saints have got to respond now. Marshall pumps it in the Membry direction. Managed to get his handball away. Wagner in the way. Kent against his old side. Here's Brayshaw. Hibbert, Salem's got to think his way through it. He was dispossessed. They're appealing for incorrect disposal.
From where I am, behind him. I had no vision from where I was.
Yeah, the umpire pretty honestly saying,
Max,
I can't pay one I didn't see. Fair enough.
They get a forward 50 stoppage here. St Kilda. Gawn slaps it to the front. Wagner off a step. Geary, very good one-on-one player. And he'll drag a free here.
Jaron Geary, your kick. Thank you where you are. Time back on.
Going to have to dump a long one in there. You have to kick it at Max Gawn. That's one of the problems if you want to do that. Kent on the left. No one home. Oscar McDonald parked back there.
Thank you. Through the behinds. Oh.
Where does he go? Has he got a long target? He has, but it's Langdon to the back and Hannum. Brown back to Hannum. He might have earned a free, nothing doing. Sinclair. Short to Ross. Patton. His high ball's beautifully marked by Marshall.
Very impressive player, Rowan Marshall. That kick was intended for Billings. It went straight between his legs. Can you believe that? Nathan Jones said, I'll pick that up, and swoops a handball back made. Thought about pulling the trigger through the corridor and back to Salem, and now happy just to take a little bit of time here. Been pretty patient at times tonight, the D's. Now he sends this one in the Gawn direction. Wagner. Jones, full-chested at that one was Melksham. A little bit of a tweak of the ankle, I thought, as the Saints now go forward. Membry, good contest. Salem, slick little handball out the back. Here's Oscar McDonald, and they might be able to reload out the opposite side with Hibbard.
Langdon.
They're in pretty good control of this game at the moment, the Demons.
Brayshaw on over the top.
Yours.
And now Brown presents up the ground.
2 metres.
This is a bit more of that considered ball movement that has made them so much better. Melbourne short now to Lever.
Yep, thank you.
Back to Hibbard. Got Rivers on. Out of the East Fremantle Football Club in the West. Popped up ball. Through uncontested possession. They get an inside 50, but it's ill-directed.
Into the arms of Ed Phillips. Back into the side tonight. He and Hunter Clark, the two changes. Jake Carlisle, interesting omission from this side. Here's a chance now. Gone. It was Viney who was lurking dangerously. Bradley Hill's overrun it. Now here come the Demons again. Big opportunity coming up. Jones short to Brayshaw, starting to work himself into this game, and decides to drive that one in the Wiedemann direction out the back. Mitch Brown kicked a nice goal a few minutes ago. It was pretty well tackled. Petracca looking for a miracle. Through came Vandenberg. He's always on. Spargo flicked it out the back. Vandenberg standing start. Worked off it. And that has gone out of bounds on the full. So they're pressing hard at the moment, the Demons. You're right, Rich. They feel so they've got the game on their terms at the moment.
Apart from those early marks inside 50, every time the Saints have gone forward, they're not threatening at the moment.
Ryder. Ball just dropped short, and he was in best position. But they're not able to sizzle from here.
No.
And that's what St Kilda build their game around, being able to really explode off half-back, and Melbourne are holding him nicely. Again, got to dump it long. Oh, King high. Jeez, there's some excitement. Now they get out the back. Hine, the ball's just got to sit for him. Butler, we know, so exciting. To a dangerous spot. Phillips almost, and he'll get a free.
St Kilda.
And it's taken a free kick because Melbourne actually had good shape there. Langdon's working really hard on that outer wing. He got back, and they didn't have a lot there.
Is this bloke going to give us some highlights over the journey? Just not quite, but it's minutes away. So Phillips, got to kick this.
Langdon would be flat. His opponent there gets the free kick. He'd got back, and
that's the set shot conversion for tonight. A must convert here for Phillips. Well done. Struck it beautifully. So a little bit of reward for Phillips and St Kilda. 15 points they trail Melbourne. He might have to go and get some claret dealt with. Really battling to find a way through there for about 10 minutes, so that's nice reward.
Good contest from Maxi King.
Having a great season, Dan Butler. Have a look at this. Just a really clever little kick, wasn't it? Underneath May. Kept the game going forward, followed up, set up the goal. He's got great game awareness, hasn't he, Richo? I love the way he thinks his way through it, Dan Butler.
Yeah, when he's running towards goals with space, good luck catching him, Dan Butler.
Much needed goal in the end, that one for the Saints. Families involved up here in Alice Springs. It's great to see crowds at the footy, and superb night it is in the heart of the nation as Jack Steele was clever to get it back to Zach Jones. Sends it out wide, one-on-one contest out here. Wagner used his body and his muscle well.
Hold there. Thank you.
Got rid of Jack Billings. Took a nice mark defensively. You can see Rivers wants it back in the corridor. Wagner going to go long and down the line. Free kick.
It's a really low disposal game, this one. That's not a quick tempo. 109 possessions for St Kilda, 130 for Melbourne.
Sam Wiedemann. It's been pretty solid tonight. So again down the line. Cozzy Pickett. Oh, looked good. Had a nice fly at it. Look at the second effort. Tackle was outstanding as well. Now Geary, the skipper.
Just tumbles it out of there. Wagner couldn't handle a hot one. King. May's having a nice evening. Brayshaw. King's got a piece of him. A couple of sandy boys. Well done, Sinclair, nice and clean. Steele. Back to Hill. They sneak another one here, the Saints. Long down the line ball. They're well set up behind the footy, Melbourne. May. Such a big frame.
Yeah.
And Wagner just inside the field of play.
Yeah, May, Hibbert, Salem, down back. They're all controlling things beautifully for Melbourne.
They've invested heavily in that defensive unit, Richo. Coughed up some big draft picks. That's not the best ball. Patton. Long. And a sideways one.
Into the hands of Nick Caulfield. Saints just trying to work their way through this one out to Jones. He's now got a bit of work to do. Played it nicely. See Vandenberg never ever gives up on a contest, but good enough to get it through to Membry. Where the Saints 50 into the protected zone, Tomlinson, and these really hurt. Goals have been hard to come by for the Saints, and Tim Membry is going to get to within almost certain range here.
It's a massive penalty, isn't it?
You can see he's actually talking to the umpire there. Tomlinson put his hands up. It's Jesus, just you got to go sideways is the rule. You got to get out of there, but
they want the play to be able to flow. They want Membry to wheel and go there, and he couldn't.
It's in Membry now. You can see what confronts him. This is his job in the side, Tim Membry. Right behind the kick, and never ever looked like it.
Pushed both of his kicks right tonight, Membry. Badly.
It's always been important. Accuracy in front of goal, but in these shortened games, it's even more height and ball goes in the Gawn direction. Shoveled back, a little fumble from Hill. Sinclair. Fist away, Hibbert at the front. Does the ball stay in? Oscar McDonald makes sure it goes over. Big minute and 42 seconds left. Brett Ratton, coach of the Saints. They're starting to get some territory back. Petracca, after a big start, been quieter in this second term. Butler hovering over the ball. Tried to slap it out. Stalemate.
Alan Richardson having a little chat to Simon Goodwin.
Hold the meter, Rowan.
Set up pretty well tonight, the D's. You can see worked on a couple of things that didn't quite fire last week against the Bulldogs. Petracca So that impressive first half. Patton now gets it back. Dougal Howard. Opportunity now for the Saints forward. Max King. Oh, nearly dragged that one down. He's looked likely a couple of times. Jones had his legs taken out. And that's a fairly obvious free kick, that one. Let's have a look at Max King. He's been very close a few times tonight.
Turnover. And Steele can get that look we've spoken about late in this term for the Saints.
He's on the mark. 15 gone.
Oh, that's just not timed at all. Kicked it in between two Melbourne players. So Jack Steele from the set shot has to convert, and he does. Absolutely gift wrapped by Nathan Jones.
Just hung in the air. I'm not sure who he was kicking that to, Nathan Jones. When you're having a good year, things just seem to go your way, and that's what's happening with Jack Steele. Absolute present for him. It's his 16th disposal. He's had the most clearances on the ground. Taken a couple of contested marks. I think he was trying to get it out to Langdon there, Nathan Jones, but I don't know if he's got tired legs, but it never looked like getting there. The last two goals here for the Saints gets them back within striking range at half-time.
And they really hurt those ones. 20 seconds remaining until half-time. It's a bit of a momentum shifter. We know you get the half-time break, but it can just flatten aside. See Nathan Jones, as soon as he kicked it, he wanted it back. Here they come again. If they can get another one, here's Sinclair. Long ball towards the goal square. Marshall out the back. They're going to get back-to-back goals. Marshall kicks it. And the Saints are back within 2 points. So all of a sudden, what was looking like a nice half-time lead for Melbourne. They have one errant kick, and they go straight to the next centre bounce, and that just sucks the wind right out of it for the Melbourne Footy Club.
Yeah, red time goals. Simon Goodwin will be filthy when they get into their rooms at half-time. Just good work in the middle of the ground. Straight down the centre, Sinclair. Get it into a contest, and good recovery there by Big Marshall.
6 seconds left. Ball somehow able to get to the back. Quietly fuming, you'd suggest. Simon Goodwin had good control in this game until the last 6 or 7 minutes. Coughed up 26 of the last 27 uncontested possessions in this match. And the Saints have made the most of it. That's going to be recalled.
It just costs them, doesn't it, the third quarter last week? Just periods in games where they just feel like they go to sleep, Melbourne.
And just 2 tackles in this quarter too, Richo. So the heat's come off for the Demons. Get into the sheds at half-time and reset. Good finish to the second term for the Saints. 3 goals in a row, Phillips, Steele and Marshall. And they go into the halftime break with real momentum.
It's halftime in what is a crucial game in our...
That need to restrict his influence in this game of footy, because that second quarter in particular, Jack Steele really stood up for the Saints and drove them back into the contest. Saints
seem to have a lot of support in Alice Springs. Just quickly, Brad Johnson, who would you rather be, Melbourne or St Kilda?
I'd rather be St Kilda.
OK, let's see how the second half unfolds. We'll see you for Saturday stretch at full time.
Haven't had big nights either, so which midfield can gain an ascendancy in the second half? I think they'll be the team that wins the game.
Just saw Goody there, Simon Goodwin deciding that he's going to coach from ground level. Brett Ratton has spent the entire night down there. So underway in the second half. See Ryder wanting to get a jump at it. He got it beautifully to Ross. Zach Jones, he just found a way through. It was a nice little step. Max King's been ever so close tonight. Just
nearly.
Can't quite get there. Jones follows up. You can hear the call in the side. The tackle on Brayshaw. So huge amount riding on this second half in Alice Springs. Both sides, enormous amount to play for. Max Gawn. Hannon came up at it. Oliver. Now Tomlinson. Out in front of Brown. Wilkie just dealt with him pretty comfortably. Shake and bait worked pretty well on that occasion, and the Saints to half forward. Max Gawn flicked it over the top, but here they come again. Dean Kent, one-on-one. It's going to favour Lever, and he was in good shape. Nice defensive mark.
To Langdon. Cozzy Pickett a long way from home. Goes down the line to Langdon. Not a big aerial target. He draws it free.
Hold there.
Just runs hard, Langdon. Gets right deep into defence and then up into the forward line as well, playing a true wingman role.
Oliver. Low one. Doesn't quite get to Jones. Long chops it off. And then he finds Geary just.
Hold. Move out.
Geary sticks it wide. Out of the hands of Battle, front and centre. This man's been so good steel. Long one. May, very, very good defender.
Rux. Max. Two Maxes. Max and Max.
Yeah, the umpire just giving the instruction. You don't see Max King do a lot of this ruck work. I'd like to see him take a bit more, and very capable, as you can see. He's athletic, he's strong, and we'll get another look at it here. Max King. Such an exciting prospect for the Saints, and that was pretty clever. Got around Max Gawn, and now it spills out. Goal coming up for the Saints, and it's got through off the boot. Josh Battle was the man. Really nice stab.
Great ruck work from Max King.
Maxie King did well.
Got it into the corridor, Das. That created that goal.
4 in a row.
Battle did a good job to finish it off, but King outpointed Max Gawn. Got it into a dangerous position at ground level. Bit of old school action. Getting pumped up before they came out after half-time, the Saints. Used to do that in mini-league. Still got a place in the game. Get the blood flowing. A good start for the Saints. Toyota fan zone. The Saints fans at home are loving it. Max King, good bit of ruck work in the forward line. Got it into the corridor. Good finish by Battle.
4 in a row for the Saints. Back in the lead. They surrendered that early in the first term. Ball gets to the back. Seb Ross wobbles it to half forward. Membry belted in the tackle. Jones evades. And inside 50 he goes again. Battle has it knocked away by Oscar McDonald. And out of play.
Starting forward, Battle. Just a versatile player. Brett Ratkin can play him anywhere. He can play on the wing, play back. He started forward now.
See how tall Max King is. He's not giving away any centimetres to Max Gawn, who's a giant. A little kick out of there. Jones. Viney bustling and working hard, but then he's belted in the tackle.
Brett Ratton issuing some instructions from ground level. Have a look at that athleticism from Ryder over the top. He was trying to connect up with Steele. Now it's flicked back the other way from Langdon, and We'll reset again. So he's just got superb athleticism, Paddy Ryder.
Hasn't lost his spring, has he, throughout his whole career?
So we'll battle this. Max Gawn, and you can see his knee heavily strapped. He's not that keen to get off the ground, but Ryder's going to want to jump from behind, and on that occasion, Max Gawn to Brayshaw, just finding it hard to win.
He's going to pay this.
Ball's pinned underneath him, my ball.
Oh, they've been paying those.
So Angus Brayshaw just the 4 possessions. Jack Viney just 4. You mentioned Richo need to get a bit more ball in the hands of their midfielders, the D's.
Another good tackle laid on Hill. Ross. Oliver. There is Viney. Steele has had plenty of it. Hill a high one. Oh, good climb, Butler. Over the top of Angus Brayshaw, gives it off to Zach Jones. Inside 50 ball. It's all Melbourne back there. May able to take a relieving mark, but a lot of the footy parked in the back half here at the moment for the D's. Hannum in good shape. It's a very good relieving kick. He drops the mark and then gives away the free kick. Thought about taking advantage just for a second, Butler. Now it's coming back to Long.
Good choice, Butler. It wasn't going to be, he was going to be tackled. He just took this mark here. That hurt Angus Brayshaw.
Now Ben Long sends the Saints inside 50. May's been prolific. Big fist away. Oliver's got to work his way through it pretty well. Stolen by Jack Billings. He couldn't quite get it through. And the Saints extend their margin to 5 points.
A lot of control in this match. Really, from the halfway point of the second term, they have taken complete control. And Melbourne have got to arrest some of it. And players like Brayshaw have got to be a part of that. It's just his 5th possession.
Yeah, 11 inside 50s in a row for St Kilda.
And Gawn, the other one. It's Hannum in front, did well.
All day.
So Hannum the long one. Melcham at the back, Brown also long. Petracca dangerous. Wilkie did nicely. Caulfield coughed it up. And the ball sort of pops out of there somehow to Viney. Now Tomlinson. Long ball inside 50. Brown arrived late. Spargo, what's he got? Off to Salem, a good finisher. Left foot ball off a step. Out the back. Wiedemann, was he held? It's a behind.
Gee, I thought Howard lost that ball in the air then. He was in a good position and Wiedemann got him behind him a little bit too easy. Got away with that then.
Dougal Howard just sort of cruised out of full back and then pumped a massive kick right through the middle. Hibbard's kick ricocheted back to Wagner. Now Cozzy Pickett. Can he turn Geary inside out? He did pretty well. Jones with a fumble. Enough time to go back, get it to Tomlinson, and Melcham couldn't work out why it didn't come to him. Now it does. Got it from Spargo. Wiedemann. Bradley Hill from behind. Dougal Howard's just farmed it right into the dangerous spot. He owes them one, Jones. Got it to Petracca. He won't miss. He's got 3, Petracca. Christian Petracca bounces back, and they needed that goal. It was a run of 4 for the Saints. And Melbourne get the lead back off the boot of that man. He hasn't had an enormous amount of the footy, Richo, but what he has, he's made that count.
Yeah, 9 disposals, but 3 goals. So he's having a good night, Christian Petracca. To a nice and dangerous spot there, Jake Melcham, and that handball there, that was hit in hope to a very dangerous position, and Melbourne have made him pay there, Dougal Howard. He's not going to miss those, Christian Petracca. Just needed to head more boundary with that handball.
Jeez, he was wide open. Top of the goal square, you'd hope you'd get more defensive coverage if you're a Saint. Petracca, 7 times he's kicked 3 goals in a game. Only once he's got to 4. And even though the numbers haven't been prolific, his impact on this game at the moment is enormous. Gawn has an arm held and taken to ground. Carefully. Nicely done by Marshall. Players learning that they've got to be careful in that space. Gawn hacks it out of there. Cozzy Pickett went to ground. Patton taken in the tackle. Melbourne had just dialed up the heat a bit here, I reckon. Sinclair good. Gets it back. Left foot ball inside 50 to a 1v1. It gets to the back of McDonald. Ryder, there's the athleticism. Walks in.
Got to the back. Defence has got to try and get that to the front. Gets over the back. And really mobile forwards in battle. And Paddy Ryder's always been athletic throughout his whole career. A quick answer for St Kilda. Doesn't matter. Sometimes those sort of mung balls are better in there. That was floating all over the place, that kick. But it was in the corridor. It gets out over the back. Lever goes to ground. You're a man down as soon as that happens.
Saints fans love it. At home, the Turner fan zone, and that's the 6th change already in lead for the night. Paddy Ryder enjoyed that, taking a turn at full forward. Marshall into the ruck. Well played, beautifully done. Gawn couldn't have got it any better to Brayshaw. He slipped as he kicked it. And now Long gets access to the ball. Sinclair, here they come, Seb Ross. Releases Jones. Forward handball. Sold his teammate a bit of trouble. Worked back to Billings on the non-preferred. From the side, you can see Max King again, hands on it. May's been really strong tonight. Here's Nathan Jones. Sends it out in the direction of Ed Langdon, who couldn't keep it in.
The ball. He got all ball. Punch the ball.
Don't get much of a look at live AFL footy in Alice Springs. When they do, they absolutely love it. One down to Steele. He's taken hard in the Oliver tackle. In fact, it was Sinclair at the bottom of all of that.
Hold the meter.
Well done, Clary Oliver. Petracca arches the back. Long to half forward. Brown just the one hand. Phillips. Geary waits for something to come to him. And Phillips at half back for St Kilda. That's what's ahead of him. May. Salem. Brayshaw taken in the tackle. Got it back to Salem. Got it back to Brayshaw. Just a dribbler along the ground. It might have come off the boots of Vandenberg and be out in the full.
Sure did. Dan Butler all over that. That's what confronts that man, the leading goal kicker this year, Dan Butler. 24 for the season coming into tonight. Membry from behind. Kent might have given away a free kick there, Dean Kent. Will go the way of young Trent Rivers. This young man just playing his 5th AFL game. Taken pick 32 in last year's draft. He's coughed that one up to Marshall. So the Saints can reload again here.
They've been untidy with the ball use, the Demons, in this middle part of the game. Butler, front and centre as he so often is, the ball goes over.
Kicked multiple goals 8 times this year, Dan Butler.
Ruckman tangle. Brayshaw handball to Oliver. So strong Steele inside 50. May, Rivers, and it carries just over the hands of Jack Steele and out of play.
Having a superb season, that man on screen, Jack Steele. 19 disposals already tonight. Kicked the goal. Brett Ratton would be absolutely loving his output. Now 50-50 ball. Phillips found it. The wobbles one. Awkward one to handle, but Stephen May has been the Demons' most important player for mine tonight.
Yeah, he's the best player tonight. It's his 18th touch, but taking those marks, some big spoils. It's hard to get past at the moment.
Oh, they've found a bit of space out here. Oscar McDonald, what can they do with this kick? Not a great one at all. It was really set up. And here they come. Sinclair got it from Bradley Hill. Now Billings. This turnover could be costly. Nick Hine just takes a little bit of time and allows, you can see the Demon defenders get back. Max Gawn can impact this one, and there is, so the D's are able to run it out again.
Tomlinson, Wiedemann, that's a lovely ball. It's got to get back to being a bit more composed. Ball in hand, Melbourne. Long and high. And that's too easy. Wilkie able to just stand and take in the end, close to an uncontested mark. Centre half back Hill, covering a lot of ground as always. Patton has a bounce, but nowhere to go. Confronted, handball back to Hill. Now they can turn the footy over from here, over-committing Nohanum. Allows Hunter Clark in. That's not his best, straight to Rivers.
Seen a lot of this tonight, half back line to half back line. Neither team's been able to get a lot of run through the half back line.
Another turnover. And again, it's Marshall in the way. This is a dangerous ball. Brayshaw breaks it up in the air. Sinclair went and found it at ground level. Lever at the back. That's good composure from Jake Lever. Tomlinson's got to stand under this. Hands to it, couldn't take it. Handball to Angus Brayshaw. Now they might be out. Hibbert on the overlap run. Pounds a long one inside 50. Wiedemann, has he got the wheels with Geary? He does. That's magnificent. Turn into a good game of footy, this one. As Luke Darcy said, the lead changes are starting to rack up, and that's end-to-end, and that will please Simon Goodwin.
Just he handled that ball well then, Sam Weedon, and that was an awkward one to take, but his one touch, trap it with one hand. No fumble there with a bouncing ball. Good play from that young man. Sam Wiedeman's second goal for the night. It was his side, the lead again. He puts his hand up and says, well done. Enjoy the ball coming in that way.
Wiedemann was up on the wing there, and he just worked back harder than Jaron Geary. I've seen him do this quite a bit this year. Both teams have been good at getting goals from the corridor and within 15 metres out the back. And really good work rate from Wiedemann. As a key forward, he took a mark up on the half-back line as an outlet for his defence a few minutes ago, and then he's pushing forward like that.
There's Brayshaw fighting hard for it. Ross has got hold of him. Which way will the umpire see it? You can see the Saints appealing for it being dragged back under, and it has been paid. So Seb Ross, what's he got on offer? Just thinking his way through it. You can see Bradley Hill wanted the short hit-up lead. Josh Battle taken away by Max Gawn, and that was a good ball. Found Mitch Hannon.
Just kicking it to an outnumber in their forward line a little bit too much at the moment, the Saints.
Jeez, we've seen a lot of that, as you said a little earlier, Richo. The half-back turnover kick has plagued both these teams.
Saints have just got to find lower their eyes a little bit. They're going long again.
Caulfield.
That's just playing into Lever and May.
Wagner. Jones has got to be careful here. Back to Wagner by hand. Melcham, really good contested mark. This is where. Think it through.
Move it on.
They dump it long. Petracca, look how dangerous he can be. Cozzy Pickett slaps it back to the track. Just couldn't get a handle. Now he goes back to find it. Hunter Clark did nicely. Caulfield had to release the footy and did. Seb Ross. Wilkie as Hibberd comes from the ground. And Billings has it.
Check in with Abby shortly on that. That didn't look good for Michael Hibberd. Billings transfers it through Dougal Howard. And that kick, well, picked off easily by May. He wanted Zach Jones. It's in really good hands now. We know he's got the journey. Petracca kicked a monster goal earlier tonight, Richo, so the distance you wouldn't think would be an issue.
I'd go back and have a crack if you're Christian Petracca. Another forward half intercept. Stephen May that time. Melbourne have been really good at that. Here's the injury to Hibberd. Looks like his ankle looks really sore. But Melbourne in the last month, their forward half intercept game has been strong. They've been scoring off the back of it. And they may again here.
Christian Petracca looking to equal a career-high 4 goals. He sent one high and straight through earlier. He's just shaped that one a little to the near side.
Mick Hibberd in the rooms there. Big Cho, a good hard Frankston boy.
Absolutely.
You've got to virtually separate one half of his body from the other for him to miss any time. Wilkie to bring it back in. Not really to the advantage of his teammate. Billings sees it over. Abby, to you.
Yeah, just on Michael Hibberd with that injury. He came from the ground and could not weight bear at all from that right ankle. We'll just roll the vision again. He went straight down to the rooms as we saw, so I'll chase an update on that one and come back to you at 3/4 time.
Thanks, Abby. Rivers, well done. Lot to like about this young man.
Thank you.
Lives with my brother, so he's starting a long way behind the 8 ball.
Moved into the Brayshaw house, has he?
And his eyes will be spinning. High from Petracca. Almost Wiedemann. Play on called. Dougal Howard thought he'd mark the ball, so it won't be holding the ball.
Touch ball. Touch ball.
Far out. You don't hear that said too often, do you, in the modern vernacular?
It's probably the better option.
It is.
Far out.
From our point of view, it's better, yep. Oscar McDonald thumped it out of there. Look at Steele go to work. He's just a beauty. Viney smashed into the ground. McDonald, that's holding the ball.
St.Kilda.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Incorrect disposal. So Jack Billings just has a look in board. You can see Ed Phillips standing right in the centre circle there.
It's been tough tonight, hasn't it, to penetrate the corridor. Both teams have forced each other down the line.
That's where it goes again. Oscar McDonald almost in slow motion there. Picked it up. Stripped away from him. Now Hine gets going. Releasing handball, okay. Back to Membry. Sizes up what's further afield. Chance coming up. Sinclair taken away by Ed Langdon, the former Fremantle docker. Off hands.
Best possible result for the Demons. They can reset the ground. St Kilda have been good at jagging late goals. Couple in that second term to charge right back into it. They got 26 seconds. It gets to the back. Spargo held up in the tackle.
Hold the meter again.
Couple of sets of hands. Big Max loses the handle. Steele Jones tries to drag it free, well umpired. They emerge with the footy, but then cough it up. Through comes Salem. And there's the siren. What a massive final quarter we've got coming your way. The Demons narrow leaders by 3 points in Alice Springs.
That particular occasion. We'll check in with Abby Holmes. Abby, it was a bit of an injury issue late. What did you see?
Yeah, it didn't look good for Michael Hibberd in that third term when he went down with a rolled right ankle. He could hardly wait there coming off the ground with the trainers. He went straight into the rooms, but he did resurface at three-quarter time. He's out there in the huddle ready to go. He does look proppy though, still not comfortable putting weight on it, but we'll see how he goes in this final term, boys.
Seeing that replay there, that was on takeoff, I think that he might have rolled the ankle, but you know, Richo able to get a bit of pain relief and play with that. He looks in a hell of a lot of pain there, Michael Hibberd, so moving pretty well on the boundary line.
Well, he'll get back out there in this last quarter. Going to be pretty sore. Heading back to Queensland tonight. They may have given up. Might not be working for him. Heading back into the rooms.
Impossible to overstate how important this next 20 minutes is, I reckon.
Yeah.
Melbourne win it, they're in the 8. This is a shortened season, so all of these games have so much riding on them. The Saints trying to give themselves, firstly, a final series, and then secondly, a double chance. It is enormous.
The Saints have got a couple of tough ones on the run home. They've got the Eagles and the Giants, and the Giants found some form today in Perth against Freo at Optus Stadium. So they want to win and stay ahead of that pack, because there is a big pack chasing. Important game tomorrow, Carlton and Collingwood. One of those teams will be right behind the Saints if they can't get the job done tonight. So really fascinating last quarter ahead.
Been enjoying this part of the ground as well. Max Gawn back in after 3 weeks out. Paddy Ryder's jumped high and hard. It's been a great battle. See Jack Viney putting some work into Jack Steele there, and it heads towards Jack Steele. You can see Viney might be really taking him on at these stoppages, and he came back in. That's what he's great at.
Fine, no.
We know how much this
Tackled
means.
Immediately.
Tackled immediately. It was Hunter Clark. See Ryder desperate to get a leap at it. Steele's been enormous. 21st disposal, but
Hold there, Dean. Thanks, mate.
it was well taken. So big chance now.
Play on.
It was Trent Rivers, the young man, took a good grab, and Cozzy Pickett looming large. Can he get his hands on it? Mitch Brown. Phillips got to be a bit careful, dragging it back under. Mitch Brown tried to keep it in, up by letting it go. It's ping-ponging around in there.
I reckon Brett Ratten would have had a look at their forward 50 entries at three-quarter time. They've had 13 more entries inside 50, St Kilda, but in that third quarter, they just kept bombing it long to an outnumber. Played into the Demons' hands.
Petracca broke it up. Ross on top of the ball. Vandenberg on top of him. Cozzy Pickett in there as well.
Melbourne. High contact, Melbourne. Front on against Ed.
High contact. So Vandenberg with the free. Just sits it up. What's he got ahead of him? Massive defensive fist. Early territory for the Demons. Max Gawn sitting back in the hole. Ryder and Brown. Saints with the clearing kick, and they kick it straight to Max, but it was a tough one to handle. Wagner to McDonald, just bangs it back in the Gawn direction. Defensive fist on him. Steele got his own Sharon out there. This is possession number 22. Kicks long again, Richo, and it's Oscar McDonald who's got to think his way through this. Got it to Salem. Lever. Rivers has played a nice game of football to Vandenberg. And off a step, he goes long, and Brown's got to focus on the ball. He did that really well. Turnover, however, for the Saints to a 1v2. Salem comes in. McDonald and then Rivers.
Big hit that was on Mitch Brown. Great courage. Going back with the fly to the footy, and he wore it full on. So that inspires your teammates. What can Salem do? We'll see if Mitch Brown's back up and competing again. There he is, and he deserved every bit of that. Oh, no. It's been turned over off the footy. You can't believe it, can you, Mitch Brown?
Against Gorn, I think it was.
Caulfield. Hannon put good pressure on. Now Wilkie's got a little bit to think about. Cho's pointed out a couple of times, they've really found that kick through the corridor hard to get, so they're going to go wide and pattern and try and get around this zone. Ryder wants it through the middle, but it's been pretty hard work to get that flowing ball movement going, although Bradley Hill sets it in motion.
Looks for Marshall down the line. It's broken out of his hands. Viney. Rivers. Like this young boy.
He's got composure, hasn't he, for what, a 5th game up?
He and Jackson out of the same club in the West. High draft picks. The future of the Melbourne Footy Club. Nest of players involved in this. Geary. Hill. To Jones. Nice kick, but he can't get and go. They've managed to hold up the Saints from here all night.
Yeah, you like to get that kick into the corridor and then get a handball receive, a runner coming past, but it just hasn't happened tonight.
Beautiful kick there for Butler. How good was that? Called to go. He wants to take Salem on. Kicks a wobbler inside 50, and Big Max is parked back there, and that's mark and/or free.
Big improvement in his game, Max Gawn, in the past 3 or 4 years, Richo. He gets great field position, does a lot of this. Takes good defensive marks.
It's a bit of old school ruckman, getting him behind the footy and taking intercepts.
Not sure about that, Max. Coughed it straight up to Dan Butler.
That's old school ruckman as well.
Brad Hill. How about this man's work rate? Slipped a little handball back to Butler. Now Max King, Membry was looming at the back. It was fisted away and over for a boundary throw.
Another one of those entries, though. It's long and deep. That was the contest with Howard and Mitch Brown. Good courage, Mitch Brown. It's got to lower their eyes, the Saints. They're dominating the inside 50 count.
Marshall down to Oliver, whose hands around stoppages are so good. Short to Langdon. This composure with ball in hand is not always what the Demons have out of the half-back line, but when they get it, they control the game. Oliver, a long one. Brown just needs to bring that to ground. He did. And Hannum sees it over. Fascinating game of football. 3 points to the Melbourne Footy Club.
Paddy and Max. Guys.
Simon Goodwin down on the boundary. Gawn tried to find Petracca. Look at Ryder, brilliance. Inside 50, King, and what a game Stephen May's played.
This is his 21st disposal, Stephen May from full back. He's done a power of work down there tonight, and normally distributes it pretty well over the head of Ryder. At the back, there's his opponent. JB mentioned the hands of Oliver. Got it to Maxi on the non-preferred. Can they get something out of nothing? Wiedemann to Hannon. Patton gave chase. Good chance coming up. Just into the hands of Dougal Howard. You could see Brown out the back, and it was an intercept mark to save the day.
Phillips, hard running from Zach Jones. This is where they try and launch the Saints, and they just have not been able to sizzle for so much of tonight. Membry, Oscar McDonald, Wagner, well done to keep it in. Marshall.
Great handball.
Yeah, beautiful handball. Sets Ross away. Again, that long ball to this part of the ground, and it just suits Stephen May.
They've almost got to try and manipulate that matchup now. Max King, a young player on Stephen May, and he's had his way tonight.
6 intercept marks for May. Wagner.
Hold there.
Vandenberg.
Hold. Thanks, Ben.
Gone through 2 opponents, and that allows this man in. Spargo from outside 50, centering ball. Petracca's had a big night. Wilkie did well. They cough it up, however. Keziah Pickett just couldn't quite be clean. Worrying here for the Saints, and they concede.
Let's get down to Abby Holmes.
Guys, Michael Hibbert has resurfaced again from the rooms. He's just doing some run-throughs with the physio on the boundary, so hopefully he's all right to get back out there in this final term.
Yeah, nasty rolled ankle. I'd love to get him back out there, the All-Australian Michael Hibbert. Here's Billings, long ball. We've seen Stephen May gobble most of these up. Looked like a free kick. Umpire said play on. King came back. Salem sliced his way through. Brayshaw's got to be good, and he was. In front of Jack Steele. So a 4-point ball game, just 8 minutes left. That was very well done from Ed Langdon.
Try and get King up the ground a little bit more and get Membry as the deeper target.
I'd love to see him have a run in the ruck, I know you're reluctant with a huge asset like that as a forward, but his ruck craft looks good and just gives you another look, gives you something else you can do. Max King, get him around the ball, and so athletic, you know, Marshall could play forward. And
just give May someone else, a different matchup.
Yeah.
Because he's just about best on ground, Stephen May. Every time it goes in there, he's winning it back.
No goals as yet in this final term. Hill held up. Oliver, Viney. High one inside 50. Petracca. Touch ball. He's not doing an enormous amount of arguing the track, so it must have been. But they get a forward 50 stoppage. Let's have a look. That's fair enough. Dougal Howard's hand on there first. This is a touch ball. So Lever. Repeat entries here for Melbourne. Well done by Howard.
Very good pick up, this man, Dougal Howard from Port Adelaide. He had 3 years to still go on his contract. He requested and trade, and he received it. They were reluctant to give him up, Port Adelaide, for obvious reasons, but Saints are very happy. Here's Patton. Short ball was well weighted to Jack Steele. 24th disposal coming up. See Jack Viney, he's been told to stick with him for this last quarter. Now King a bit further up the field. Nice take from Billings, under pressure. He's just squeezed that one straight into the lap of Wagner.
He's Hoopling's first here. No goals as yet. 6.5 left. Brown in from the side, couldn't hang on. Viney squeezes the handball to Oliver. 1v3 inside 50. What can Petracca do? The snap from Christian Petracca is bouncing. It's gone through. That is unbelievable. I reckon they're going to have a look at it. He had 3 to beat. So the soft call's a goal.
Score review. Umpire's call is a goal. Please confirm the ball was not touched.
Review underway.
So can they overturn this in the arc?
The on-field call's a goal, so it's got to be beyond any doubt for it to be overturned. You can't see from there because you've got no idea where the line is.
You need the goal line camera, but I don't think they've got one in Alice Springs.
What about the individual performance from Christian Petracca? 3v1.
But well done isolating him as the deepest forward, because he's the most likely looking one-on-one player tonight.
The angle on the left, we can see the ball's clearly touched.
but there is insufficient evidence to confirm if this touch is before crossing the back of the goal line, reverting to the umpire's call.
This is where the soft call is everything in our game.
Yeah.
On-field call a goal, and therefore it has to stand. That is enormous. Christian Petracca, unbelievable.
This is where you probably need to have the same cameras at every ground, don't you? You need the goal. If you're going to have goal line cameras, you need them at every game, probably.
That is nuts. 4 goals equals a career high. Find a way. Incredible.
Just take a look at the body strength here from Petracca. He's wrapped up by Wilkie. He's got no right to get boot to ball. The power through the hips.
He got a fair bounce.
Got a nice bit of leg break on it.
But
more the wrong one.
He's been the most likely player inside 50 all night, and Simon Goodwin isolated him as the deepest forward and may well be the match winner.
That is just serious power, isn't it, Petracca, to stand up in that, and it's a huge moment in the game. First goal, last goal. Oh, here he goes again, Petracca. Put some good pressure on Jones. Marshall's a very good player. Ross's handball. Long, can he get through? Rivers did a good job, the young man. Well played. Spargo hangs it out laterally. And Ed Langdon accepts it. So the D's in the all-important first goal. Mitch Brown has worked his way out onto the wing. Still plenty of time, as you can see. So this has been a fair bit of what tonight's play has been about. Wiedemann in front. Hannon took a pretty good attempt at that mark. Charlie Spargo. Play on's the call. Wilkie got it into the hands of Billings. And we'll reset this one again.
Rocks. Rowan and Max. Rowan and Max.
Good in the big moments in this last 10 minutes, Melbourne. What have St Kilda got? They've found a way to respond all night.
Both engaged. Play on.
Bangs off a couple of sets of boots. Gawn, Langdon. Tough to get around Jones. Patton. They can launch off half-back here, but it's been tough all night to find anyone with that kick. Now Hill. Back to Sinclair. High inside 50. That's better. Membry. For the quick response.
Yeah, Membry, the deepest forward. That was the option. Max King got Stephen May out of the way and the fat side opened up.
12-6 from set shots on the year, but 0-2 as you saw tonight. This is a big kick. They're back within a goal. Good game of footy. So Membry with his first.
Got some overlap, didn't they, through the middle of the ground with Sinclair and Brad Hill. And they finally found a target inside 50. It's been tough in the second half. Couple of handball receives in the corridor. Makes it a lot easier, doesn't it, for your forward line. And Membry had a heap of space, fat side of the ground. It's been tough to get it in there tonight, into the corridor and get overlap run. Both teams have defended it well. Game on. Membry with a nice finish.
4 minutes, 3 seconds remaining. Alice Springs, the heart of the nation clash. We've had 7 lead changes tonight. Brett Ratton will be desperately hoping we get an 8th. And you can see Simon Goodwin. It means an enormous amount. The bounce will be recalled. Always looks pretty composed, that man, Simon Goodwin. Heart will be pumping big time. Look at Maxi Gawn. He knows how much is on the line here. Brayshaw over the top. Petracca's got 4 goals on the night. He might be in trouble here. Dragged it back under. Had to be a free kick.
Stay out with him.
See Bradley Hill wanting it from Marshall. He's a capable field kick, Marshall, and you saw that nice ball to Jones. He's gone off his line, so play on's the call. Jeez, that is an absolute sack of a kick. Gawn got it back, tumbles one down the line. Mitch Brown immediately just ragdolled by Zach Jones. Good, strong, fair tackle. The umpire will throw it up.
They've had some close games this year, the Saints, including a 2-pointer last week against the Lions. Through the hands of Hill, but Vandenberg went to ground, which allowed him back onto the footy. Steele's had a massive night. High around the body. Ball! Marshall! Good one-on-one win.
Yeah, Max King's gone to the bench. A bigger body there. A bit more experience on Stephen May. That's the first time he's been outpointed tonight in a one-on-one.
What's he got from the set shot, Rowan? Take a very good kick from here. Outside 50 late in the game. It's going to not quite get there and help through.
That is a good contested mark, that one, Richo, against the informed player on the ground who hasn't been beaten once tonight. Strong unit, Rowan Marshall. 3-point ball game. You can feel the tension everywhere. What's Salem got? He'll take his time to just think through it. No surprise that he wants it long and out of there. Max Gawn, Wiedemann, Melksham just hacks it around the body. Mitch Brown stood up. Wilkie, well tackled. Spargo got him, wrapped him up nicely.
Two minutes 11.
Hey, good guys. Straight back. Here we go. Here it is.
Just a piece of individual brilliance from someone can win the game. Steele has had a big night. They get it to the outside. Hill. Marshall, good hands. Quick release, Kent. Back to Hill. High inside 50 ball. All Melbourne back there. Tomlinson able to take the relieving mark.
I'll tell you what, Hill's run, he's giving everything in this last quarter.
Just got to go high and wide. Jump at it there, Ryder, unable to take the mark. Oliver, Vandenberg and Langdon. Max Gawn's got to impact this.
How good's Oliver then? She's tough in the clinches to get that handball off there. They're then able to get a long kick down the line.
Paddy and Max.
Have a look at the coaching going on from the sideline. Goody's just instructing the shape that he wants. Ryder's got to get it out of the open space. The Melbourne players will try and keep it in tight. Steele, they went after him big time. Brayshaw managed to just squeeze the handball out to Melksham. Hunter Clark's got him. Who's going to win this all-important clearance? Zach Jones went at it hard. Got it out. Bradley Hill. Huge chance coming up the Saints. Can they get a mark? From the side, Billings' lever was good. Chance now for Hine. Stepped his way through. Here's Geary, the skipper. Can he keep it going? Got it out to Long. 47 seconds remaining. They need a mark. Marshall's down there. Oscar McDonald. There's the big man. And Viney gets it through to Oliver.
Some big moments. Langdon back to Salem, normally good by foot. Vandenberg's out. So's Melksham if he can be clean. Vandenberg is clean. What's he got ahead of him? Handballs it back to Brown. And Brown goes back to Langdon, not the required distance. They got to bash it long. And a free kick has been given away, so 13 seconds left.
Time back on.
Dougal Howard's just got to go. Got to take every risk. He's chomped up about 4 seconds doing nothing. Now he goes down the line. Marked by Kent. Siren's going to sound. Melbourne hang on somehow. Heart of the nation. One goal apiece in a pulsating final term. Special edition of the Melbourne song, of course, for this Heart of the Nation game. Sometimes just gutting one out, Richo, can set your whole season up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Clayton Oliver's last quarter, he had 10 disposals, all the tough stuff. And when it's up for grabs and it's in the clinches, you can turn to him. Petracca, obviously, with that freaky goal to win it for them. Brad Hill tried his guts out in that last quarter with his run. He had 11 disposals to try and get the Saints across the line. But in the big moments, Petracca kicked that miracle goal. And just Oliver at the end there a couple of times when someone needed to win a big footy. He does that all the time.
Look at the smile on Simon Goodwin's face. He knows how much that meant. Let's get down to Abby.
Woody's a very happy man over there, Maxie, but congratulations on the win. You're in the top 8. How good does that feel?
There's a long way to go, Abby. Still 4 games to go. We needed to beat someone on top of us, and we did. We came and beat Saints. Good little finish would have been nail-biting for Melbourne supporters back home.
What was going through your mind with a minute to go? St Kilda are really pressing forward. You just needed to hold on.
Yeah, couldn't do much. We were trying at every stoppage just to play a boring game and hit it straight down and tackle, and they just seemed to have numbers. Brad Hill was electric late.
He was.
But yeah, we were able to get over the line, which showed maturity. Michael Hibbard said he broke his leg on the field. I think it was just a rolled ankle, but he came back on and made a really good tackle. Jake Lever, that closeout spoiled.
Yeah. And how much belief does this group have from a win like this? As you said, there's still a long way to go. There's still 4 games remaining, but winning against a side above you who's inside the top 8, surely that stands for something moving forward.
Yeah, it's big. It's big. We needed to beat someone on top of us. Just really proud that we can make people smile back in Melbourne. Doing it very tough. My family, my wife back at home, she's probably watching. Just hopefully put a smile on a few people's faces down in Melbourne.
And just quickly, Maxie, on the flight conditions coming in, you fly in, you play your fly out tonight. I think you get back at 3 a.m. Surely there's a sleep in on the cards tomorrow?
5-day break, straight up to Cairns, day of the game flight. It's a whirlwind of a season. We're on the same flight as St Kilda, so hopefully we can smile.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Good work.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, big day, isn't it? Started at about 9 o'clock this morning, and a nice moment that, isn't it? The Jones brothers, Zach and Nathan, as we just heard, they're going to be on the plane together, Richo on the way back, and for the sides that win and then you travel together, it means a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Terrific win, Melbourne in the 8 there, and they've got a good percentage, the Ds. That's going to come in handy because look at the teams on the same amount of wins below them. The Giants, the Doggies, Carlton may join it tomorrow, but they've got 10%. So that could be the difference at the end of the season for Melbourne. Hard-fought win.
Impressive, I reckon, late in this game, Melbourne. They were able to get the game back to where they wanted it after it started to get very wobbly. The Saints are such a quick ball movement side. They were able to hold them up. So I think there's a lot for them to like about tonight.
Yeah, what were they? Inside 50, minus 16 inside 50s. But Stephen May, I reckon they could have tried something a bit earlier down back. And I think Stephen May's with Abby now.
He's on the GoPro as well in the background. But Maisie, well done. You were under siege late. As I just said to Maxie, what's going through your mind when you're deep in defence and St Kilda are coming hard?
Oh, I was like, not again. We played well last week against the Doggies and then they overran us. Whereas tonight we were able to, stem the flow of their offence and, they found a gear late and I was pretty nervous, not going to lie.
Yep.
I was like, come on, Siren, hope and go. So, it was a thrilling win.
And Christian Petracca, he didn't quite get the numbers that we normally see of him, but just his ability to impact the scoreboard, so impressive. He's such an important piece to your puzzle.
He's a beast. Like, he can't get, when he's up and about, he's hard to stop, and a couple of goals early, and he's filthy about dropping a couple of marks late. That's the competitor he is. So if he can do that every week, it's going to help us.
And Sydney in 5 days, we know that you've got to fly back to Queensland and then up to Cairns, but what does recovery look like from here?
Burjay's got us pretty flat out with his recovery hubs and all this.
Yeah.
It's a pretty rigorous regime, but we've been able to, apart from the Port Adelaide game, our 4 or 5 day breaks have been good. So, I didn't even know who we're playing next week because this is such a big game. So, I'm still gathering my thoughts from that. But, after a win, you definitely pull up a lot better.
Yeah, well, there's not much training going on in these 5 day breaks, but you're actually playing Sydney, so best of luck in 5 days' time.
Thanks, Abby.
Thanks for your time.
Well, interesting for me where the television heads after the break.
Big night for Richo on that front. Oh, very, very big call for you, Richo.
Does he go
a lot of pressure
with the ball getter? Does he go with the goal kicker, or does he go with the big defender?
Well, normally favoured the defenders, Richo. Well, as a rule,
goals win games normally.
We've got the press conferences for both coaches. The real Richo is back tonight, and we are looking forward to the song being pounded out, and also looking forward to what's coming up in the rest of a big round of footy.
Yeah, Stephen May was outstanding, though. We know that. And I feel like the Saints had to try and manipulate the matchup on him a little bit earlier. He was just dominating a young player.